Welcome to this session where we'll have a look at how we can use two PnP Modern Search Result web parts to make something that looks like a filter. It's going to be A to C filter, and we have the requirements right here. So we have to use PnP Modern Search to do this. And secondly, we want it to be dynamic, this filter. So we want to make sure that we will only see one of these letters if there actually is some content starting with that letter in the title. And the last requirement is that we would only want to be sure that it only shows once. So even though we have two items that have the same letter as the first letter in the title, we only want to see it once. And once we're done with that web part, we'll have to connect it to another web part and make it should work as a filter on that web part. So this is what we already have available. We have our content, we have our refiners, we have our search box. All of our content in this case is actually pages, site pages. So these are, if we have a look at this, they are all just pages in a site pages library. If we have a look at the site pages library, you can see that we have some additional information on this one. It is all based on a specific content type that we have in here. So as you can see, we have a content type called policy content type. It is, in this case, it's from, it could be just created on this site collection, but it's actually from the content type hub, content type gallery. And if we go into the gallery and have a look at our policy content type right here, as you saw, it was based on the site page as a parent. And we have all the usual site columns here. And then we have some additional stuff here. We have is policy valid? First letter from title, employee handbook topic, valid on to date, and content responsible. Some of them, like policy valid and valid until date and content responsible, are just for another sample that I have where we ensure that all of our content will remain valid. So if something is due for a review on a specific date, if that date comes and nobody have updated the content, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to hide that page because now that policy might not be valid anymore? Or should we just show a warning on the page, whatever? So that's for that purpose. But what we are looking for in this case is first letter from title, and in employee handbook topic, that was what you saw in the refiner on the left hand side. So this one is the one that we're really interested in. It is pretty simple, actually. We have a look at it. As usual, we have to go to the classic experience to see what's actually going on. As you can see, it is a calculated field, and it's pretty simple. The only thing we do is that we take the title and just take the first letter from the title and save that in this field. That's all that's really going on. And you will see that in the policy center that we have chopped the first letter from our pages like bribes. That's a B, PDO, that's P. You get the idea. So this is what we're going to use for A to C refiner, which is not really a refiner, but it looks like a refiner. So this is just the way we can do it. If you prefer another way that where people enter the letter themselves, because that might not be the first letter in the title, well, of course you can do that. But well, in most cases it makes sense. That's what people are actually expecting an A to C filter to do. Just select the pages that have that first letter in the title. So now we can start working on our pseudo filter here. So the first thing we do is that we add another search result web part up here. We want to use basically the same query as we have down here in our existing result. So let's add that. Okay, and we want to make sure that we have our the field that was the first letter from the title. We want to make sure that this is selected so we can actually show it. First letter from title, right there, and then we have to use another layout. I think list will do just fine. So we want to make sure that we show our first letter from the title up here. So let's do that. We can do that by going into the template up here. Have a look at it. Say, well, what are we going to use? So we're going to use anything about sorting. Nope. Let's get rid of that. Promoted results. No. Nothing about promoted results. So this is where we start working with the existing data. Let's see what we got here. This is the one we are looking for. So we want to make sure that we show what we have already here. So we don't want to use preview existing URL. We don't want to use that. We want to use first from title. That slot does not exist yet, so we'll have to create that one. So let's edit here. Go back to page 1, and in the, so you can see, by the way, we cancel out of this. This is a feature in PnP Modern Search that actually helps you if you are creating your own layouts. In this case, it comes up saying, well, there's something wrong because you are referring to a slot that does not exist yet. So we can just grab that, go in here and create a new slot. And the field we're going to use is exactly the same, so we'll just add that. Now you'll see the warning has gone, and you can see that it actually starts to show up this string and a hashtag. So we'll have to tailor our layout a little bit more. Let's see all of the tags in here. We don't want to see that. We just want to see those letters. So I'll just skip now, and then I'll show you the final result. So the final results look something like this. We have to do a split because we had some characters that we didn't want it because we had, like, it said string, and then it said something about the pound sign. So we just wanted to see the last the item, index number 1 after the pound sign. So this is what it looks like in the layout, and the results looks like this. This is a good start, but it's obviously it's not sorted alphabetically, and we have two distinct letters up here. Both of them are M's from the content down here. We have both mobile phone and maternity leave, so we have a duplicate here, and we don't want that in our refiner. So the first thing we can do is we can have a look at the sorting. In order to sort something in PnP Modern Search, you have to make sure that, or in search in general, you have to make sure that it is a refinable string, int, boolean, whatever. So it has to be refinable, otherwise we can't sort it as well. So if we go into our search schema and you have a look at the first letter, we can see that we have our property here, and it comes from this crawl property. If we go take this crawl property and have a look at that, we can see that I have already mapped that to a refinable string, 125 in this case. So that is something that you'll have to do to make sure that we can actually sort this. So if we go back here again, we can just go down here, and on page 1, I think, sort setting, yeah, refinable string. Yeah. 125. We want it to be default. We want it to have to be ascending. So let's check that one. Bingo. There we go. This solved part of our problem. Now it's sorted as we expected. We still have this duplicate to work with though. And we have a feature in PnP Modern Search as well for that. It's called collapse specification. This will ensure that we only get one result for each value. So what we have to do is now we have to put in first letter from title, and we just want one. Item returned, so we only one, no matter how many instances we have of that specific letter, we just want one. There we go. So now we have what we're looking for. These are the letters that match the content we have down here, except that it is unique, so we only have one M rather than two. The next thing we have to ensure is that we can actually select these letters up here. So let's have a look. It says enable selecting. It's on page 2. Allow item selection. So now we can select these. Yeah, great. Next thing is that we have to connect this web part to our existing results down here. So if we go down here and take a look at the properties on page 3, we can see that we can connect this web part to another web part. So if we do that, and then we say we want to use data from this web part to connect to a source, that would be the other results that we have in here. And we want to use first letter from title. And we want to use the same letter. We want to use that as a filter value as well. So that will also be first letter from title. There we go. Then we have an option here where we can use it just as a filter, which is the default mode. But in this case, I want to use it as a token, and you'll see why in a short while. So let's just grab this and go back in here in the query, enter it here, and then we want to update it because it's not title. We want to use it as first, what sort of it is, first letter from title. No typos, thank you. And we want to use the same property in this case down here. So like that. Apply that. Let's just save and close and see how that looks. And let's see if it works. Nope, not yet. So why is that? Let's see. Okay, I found that I had another search result web part on my site. So let's see if yeah, that was the wrong one I connected to. So let's connect to that one, and we still want to use the first letter as a filter. So let's see if this solves the problem. So yes, it works. So right now it will stay up here, and we can see all of the values at all times. It's not working just like a filter where we exclude the other ones. So this works like that, and of course, if we don't select anything, we have all of them up here. This is just a basic example of how you can create a to Z filter using an existing web part. I hope you can use this. And of course, this can be used in many cases. In this case, it's just for pages. It can be used for documents. It can be used for list items. It can even be used for people if you want to do that. So I hope you have found this information useful, and see you in the next one.